Hello students, in this session we are going to discuss structures in C. As we have seen in the previous sessions that a structure belongs to derived data type. We have three different data types. Under that we discussed about what is a primary data type or derived data type or user defined data type. Structure belongs to derived data type category. Why do we say that it is a derived data type? Because a structure, it is derived from existing data type. For example, I said that string belongs to derived data type. String belongs to derived data type. Why did I say so? Because string, you don't have a direct data type string there. You need to create an array of strings. That means from the array of characters. So from the existing data type, that is character, you are creating a character of array of characters that we are calling it as a string. Okay, in the same way you are deriving this data type also. So here structure is a collection of heterogeneous data elements or different data elements. I repeat, a structure is a collection of different data elements under the same name. Okay, so simply in simple terms, if I wanted to say that a structure is a collection of different data types or different data elements under the same name. Okay, so we'll see how to create a structure first of all. For this thing we need the keyword struct here. So we use the keyword struct. To create a structure we need the keyword struct followed by a tag. Tag is nothing but the name which we are giving to this block or to this structure. So for suppose we take as a struct name only for here, as I am writing the syntax for it, right? So struct, you can write tag name or struct name here. Then do not enclose it with a semicolon. Here open the curly braces. And what did I say? A structure is a collection of different data elements. So whatever different data elements you have, you can write them here. Like you may have member 1, member 2 and so on up to member n. Finally, you will close it and you will write any variables of this structure, if any. Okay, so this is how the structure or the syntax for structure is, right? Now we'll see an example program. Through that we'll understand what exactly is a structure. How do we actually create this one? Okay, so now coming to this one, a structure can be created inside the main block or outside the main block also. I repeat, a structure can be created inside the main block or outside the main block also. Okay, now suppose we have a program here. Right, then I have void main, right? Then okay, now here suppose I wanted to create a structure here. So what do I do? Struct. Now here what should I give? Struct is the keyword we have to create, we have to use for creating a structure, followed by a tag name, nothing but an identifier which will give the name for this structure, right? So suppose I wanted to create a student, a structure for student. So the name what I am giving here is a student, right? Then open the curly braces. Here you will give whatever members are there, you will be giving here. That is, as I told you, a structure is a collection of different data elements. So those different data elements, nothing but members of the structure, have to be declared within the structure. So how do we do that? Suppose in the student I wanted to declare some roll number, for example. I wanted to declare roll number of a student, then the fees and name of the student. I wanted to declare these three under this name. So under the name student, I wanted to declare the name of the student, the roll number of the student and the fees particulars or fees of that student. So how do I write that one? First of all, take this one name. Name belongs to string type of data. That means name is a string, right? So how do I declare it? So CHAR followed by name of a maximum of 20. Right? Then I have roll number. So roll number is obviously an integer type of data. So int roll number. Then fees, it comes under floating point type of data. So float fees. Okay. Now this completes my members. That means the declaration of members is done. So what does student structure have? It have 3 members. They are, one is character, that means one is a string, one is an integer, and another one is float. Now name, roll number and fees are the members of this structure. In this example, these 3 are the members of this structure. That is, student structure have name, roll number and fees in it. Now I'm stopping here. If you want, if you have some more data to be added, you can write those members here only. Okay. Now this is one method of declaring the structure. I can close it here, and when I am using it, I can directly use it something like this. Struct student, give some variable name here. Suppose S1. What is this variable name now? What is this variable name? Now when I said structure, struct is a derived data type, as we have int or float. When I have int is a data type here, and along with that one I'll use a variable. Suppose int a. What happens here? Int is a data type and a is a variable of integer type, isn't it? In the same way, here what happened? Student is a structure here. Student is a data type here. Of what type? Of structure type. So student is a data type of structure type, and I need to give a variable for it. I need to declare a variable for it. Then only I can use these members. Otherwise I can't, because it is something. Now student is something like int here. Student is something like int here, because int is a data type. In the same way, student also is a data type. Int is of what data type? Integer data type, right? In the same way, student is of structure data type. So if I wanted to make use of it, I need to create a variable for it. I need to create a variable for it. That is the reason why I have created a variable here. Okay. Now, this is one method of declaring a variable. Okay. Or I can even initialize here only. I have declared a variable and I can even initialize here only. How? What is the what we say series here? Name, roll number and fees. That is character, integer and float. So first comes name. So let me write it here. Some Tony with an inverted comma, because it is a string type of data. Then roll number some 101. Then comes fees some 10,000. Okay, and you can end here also. This is one method of initializing these elements, or you may you can create the variable here itself. You can create the variable here itself. This is one method of creating a variable. This is one method of creating a variable. I'll show you one more method how to create a variable here. Simply, instead of closing this semicolon here, instead of closing that semicolon here, you may directly give it here. Okay. Now, one more thing. When we declare some integer type of data, we declare something like this, isn't it? That is int a comma b comma c. That means a, b, c are 3 variables which are of integer type, isn't it? In the same way, here I can give stu. I can give. That means s is a variable of student, t is a variable of student, u also is a variable of student, which can access all the 3 members. Now, these are the members of the structure. Name, roll number and fees are the members of the structure. Student is the name of the structure. Struct is the keyword we use to create a structure or declare a structure. Here stu are the variables of a structure. Okay. So to make it simple, let us take only s here. I am putting a semicolon here. Okay. Now, so this is one more method to create a variable or declare a variable for this structure. Now, the second thing, how can I initialize them? How can I initialize them? So here I wanted to initialize them. So how do I do? If I wanted to use these name, roll number and fees, they are packed in something. They are not free. They are packed in something. Under what are they packed? They are packed in the student. It is a structure. So what do I need? I need the variable of the structure followed by a dot operator, member access operator, followed by member of it. How do I do that? Let us see. So S dot, before that, because I wanted to give name, I wanted to assign a name or initialize a name, I am using strcpy here. strcpy, a string manipulating function used to copy one string into another string. So strcpy, where do I wanted to copy? I wanted to copy into name. So name is not free one, it is not individual one, it is enclosed within something. What is that something? It is enclosed within student. Now to access the members of the student, what do I need? I need the variable of it followed by a dot operator followed by member of that structure. So S dot name, comma, what name do I want to give? Simple. Okay, so now Tony is copied into S name. Right? In the same way, I have roll number. I can't use it directly. So S dot roll number. S dot roll number is equal to some 101. In the same way, S dot fees is equal to some 10,000. This is how I have declared it. Okay, so sorry, initialized it. You can initialize it here only, or if you want, you can even give the values at runtime. That means using scanf statement also, you can give the values in runtime. How do you do that? Simple. So I am keeping this simple. Suppose you wanted to enter roll number at runtime. How do you give it? Simple. Printf, instead of giving it like this, you are going to accept it at runtime. That's it. So printf, what do you write? I want roll number, so enter roll number. Printf, enter roll number. Then I need to accept data into it. So scanf percentile D, because roll number is an integer type of data. I use percentile D here, followed by now ampersand roll number. Again I am saying, if I wanted to access this member, I need its variable. So S dot roll number. If it was not a structure, and I have declared it under the main section directly, I would have given it like this, isn't it? But because roll number is enclosed within a structure, I need to give it like this. In the same way, if you wanted to accept value into name, same thing again, percentile S and S name. For fees, percentile F and S dot, what is it? Fees. You will do it like that. So here I am not accepting it at runtime, I am directly initializing it here. So I am keeping it simple. If you want, instead of this one, in place of this one, we may even replace this also. That is, you wanted to accept the values into these members at runtime. In that case, we go for using the scanf statement. So how to use it is what shown here. Right. Now, after this, how do we display? How do we display? Now, up to here, initialization is over, fine. I wanted to display these values now. How do I display? Simple again, I need to write the printf statement. Printf. Now, first what is there? S name. That means name is there. I wanted to display the name first. You can display anything. Suppose we go in an order. So name here. So student name is equal to what is it? Percentile S. Okay. Where is student name stored? S dot name. Name. But we need to use S here. So S dot name. Okay. In the same way, I wanted to display roll number also. Printf roll number is equal to percentile D S dot roll number. What is it? RN dot S dot RN. Okay. In the same way, I wanted to display fees also. So fees is equal to percentile F. What is it? S dot fees. And that's it. Finally, get CH and stop it. This is a simple program to demonstrate structure in C. Okay, so only difference is that you can even replace this one with printf and scanf statements. That is, you can even accept values at runtime also using those printf and scanf statements. I just wanted to explain you what is a structure and how do we access these members of the structure. Okay, so fine, this is all about structure. Now coming to memory management. As we are seeing that here we have different data types in this structure. Now how much memory is consumed or how much memory is taken by this structure? Nothing but it will take all the memory which is used by these three. For example, here take this as an example. In this case, name is given a size of 20. So let us take it like this. Student is the name of the structure. Now the first one is name. Okay, so name is taking how much of memory? I have given 20 size here. That means character data will take 1 byte each. So I have given size 20. So 20 into 1, that is 20 bytes of memory is consumed by this name. So name is consuming 20 bytes here. In the same way, coming to roll number is integer type of data. As we all know, integer type of data occupies or holds 2 bytes of memory. So roll number holds 2 bytes of memory. Okay, in the same way we have fees here. Fees is floating point type of data, and we know that floating point data holds 4 bytes of memory. Floating point type of data holds 4 bytes of memory. So here it occupies 4 bytes of memory. On the whole, this structure student will hold how many bytes of memory? 20 plus 2 plus 4, that is a total of 26 bytes of memory is occupied by this structure. Okay, and the best part is that you can initialize all the elements at a time only. You can initialize all the elements at a time, because each members, or elements in the sense members here, you can initialize all the members at a time. The best thing is that each and every member have their own individual memory locations. A unique memory location is allocated by the compiler to these elements, to these members individually. So they are not going to share the memory, they have their own memory. So whatever I have initialized here, so when I see the output, what will be the output here? It will be something like this. I'm rubbing this one. Right? It will be something like this, that is student name. The first output line is student name equal to S name. What is stored in S name? Tony. So student name Tony. Then I have roll number is equal to roll number is equal to, what is the roll number we gave? It is 101. So 101. Then I have fees is equal to S dot fees. So what is stored in S dot fees? It is 10,000. Okay, so this will be the output. If you observe here, individual members have their own values stored in it. So it is able to display in that way. So simple, to keep it simple, I say that the members of the structure are allocated unique memory. Their individual memory will be allocated. They'll be having their own memory. They'll be having their own space in the memory, so that whatever values we have assigned, they'll go and store in that place. Okay, so this is all about structure. Hope this class was beneficial for you. If you really understood this class, please share this class, share this video to your friends, and please subscribe it to learn more. Thank you.